Welcome Home, a podcast for veterans, about veterans by veterans, is a project of Willing Warriors and the Warrior Retreat at Bull Run.
Good morning. I'm Larry Ziliak, your host, Director of Culinary Services here at the Warrior Retreat. And today our guest is Amy Wolfe. She is the Artistic Director of the Manassas Ballet here nearby in Manassas, Virginia. And she's joining us today to tell us about a very special ballet that she wrote. It was about her son, Colin. So, Amy, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so excited that you're here. I have to admit up front that my wife and I saw the ballet when it first came out. It was amazing.
Oh, thank you.
So if you could just give us a little bit of background on your position with the Manassas Ballet, and then the story behind the ballet itself.
Okay. So first, Manassas Ballet. As you said, I am the artistic director. Way back in 1997, I thought to myself, we should have a professional ballet company out this way that people don't necessarily want to drive into D.C. on the weekend after they have driven into D.C. all week long.
Right.
And also so much talent in the area, so many dancers, and not a lot of companies. And I feel that here in the United States, we should have as many ballet companies and symphonies, et cetera, as they do in Europe, that every little city should have its own.
Wow. And
so I started Manassas Ballet Theatre as a professional company. I just kind of do a lot.
And so this was in 1997.
That was in 1997.
So you guys have been around for a while.
We've been around for a while. By the fall of 1999, we had hired our first full-time professional dancers, and we're on our way.
Wow. Were they from the area? Were they local dancers that you hired, or were they professional ballet people from
both,
Russia? Or
correct. So
okay.
Both local and from Russia and other countries. And to this day, we have some that are local and some from far away in the United States and some from far away different countries all over the world.
How large is the company?
Approximately 25 full-time dancers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And how many productions do you do?
We do 4 productions a year. We also have our own symphony orchestra that accompanies the production. Sometimes we have a jazz band accompany a production, but we always have live music. And we also have our professional academy.
And is this a full-time job for these dancers?
Well, the dancing part is part-time.
Okay.
And then a lot of them also teach for us.
I see.
Yes.
Yeah. And we saw the ballet at the Hilton Center.
Correct.
Which wasn't around when you started, right?
Right.
Yeah.
2010 it opened.
Right. So where were you before that?
We were at schools, Metz Middle School and Stonewall High School.
Any school with a good auditorium.
Yes,
yeah.
But nothing like the Hilton.
No.
The Hilton is wonderful.
Yeah, it's an amazing place to see a concert or the ballet or really any production there is really first class, I got to say. It's a beautiful facility that was built by the Cecil and Irene Hilton Foundation, which, by the way, is the Hilton Foundation that's built Woodbridge, not the Hilton Foundation that owns the hotels.
Right.
But wonderful people there, and they're a supporter of us here at the retreat. So just for transparency purposes.
Yeah.
So now comes a time, you're a Gold Star mother.
Yes.
And it comes a time where you write the ballet Colin.
Right.
Can you tell us about that?
I can. All right. So Colin was killed in 2006 in Iraq. Fast forward to approximately 2012, spring 2012.
Okay.
And my husband Mark and I are on a road trip. And I have a friend of mine on the phone. His name is Mark Menza, and he's a composer. He lives in Dallas, Texas. And we were planning a collaboration. For years, we had talked about that he should compose some music, and then I would choreograph to it, and we would use it for one of the productions. So we're on the phone, and he says, Amy, I would really like to do a patriotic ballet in honor of Colin. And I said, well, that's wonderful. We have already done some patriotic ballets since Colin was killed. What about if we do a ballet about Colin?
Right.
Silence.
Okay.
So he came back with, okay, we can do this. And over the next many months, he composed music, would send it to me bit by bit, and work back and forth. And then I began to choreograph. And by March 2013, we had the first rendition of the ballet as just a one act. All right. So Colin, Submarine Hero. And it was only like a 25 minute one act ballet. Well, the response was incredible.
Yeah.
We had BBC, we had Czech TV, we had the Washington Post, we had CBS Sunday Morning, et cetera, et cetera. We had so many news cameras on the lawn at the Hilton Performing Arts Center. And therefore, people contacting me that they really would like for Manassas Ballet Theatre to tour the ballet, that they wanted to see it.
Okay.
Well, how do you tour a one-act ballet? You have to put it with other things, which we did do. We went to Bakersfield, California. Wonderful experience. We went down to Culpeper, another wonderful experience. But in the meantime, I called Mark Menza back. I said, okay, compose more music.
We need more tunes.
More tunes. We need to make it a full-length ballet. And so in 2014, we premiered the full-length Colin, Submarine Hero. In 2018, I expanded on it. In between time, I had been interviewing Colin's commander, Colin's fellow Marines, childhood friends, school friends, you name it, and of course, family. That version we presented in 2018. Okay, now it's 2023. And we've also done one other tour in between to the Jewish Community Center, January 2020, right before the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
Another beautiful experience, but then pandemic.
Yeah.
So 2023, and a lot of people coming to me saying, when are you going to do it again?
Right.
You know, we really want to see it. We want others to see it.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, it's a difficult project for me.
Sure.
You never forget the loved ones you have lost.
No.
But to dig into the past and unearth everything again brings all the emotions again.
Of course.
You know, to the... But I feel it's very important. They are correct. The ballet was created not just to honor Colin, but to honor all who have served and are serving, and to help all who have served and are serving.
Sure.
And those that have been spared, but have lost, you know, so many.
Yeah.
And how do you go on? And the guilt that you feel and the pain that you feel. And I try through the ballet to not be centered on the negative aspects, but instead be centered on that we go on and we become the most that we can be in their honor.
Sure.
And we do the most good that we can do in their honor. They served because they wanted to make the world a better place. So here we are.
Yeah.
Let's make the world a better place in their honor.
Yeah.
I try to center on the love that is shown in the ballet. So the love of a mother for her son, and the son for his mother and the family. The love between friends, the love between comrades, Colin's love for his religion, Judaism, and Colin's love for his country and for all the people in the world, and therefore why he served.
Yeah. And when is it? When is the production again? It's in November.
So the production's in November in honor of Veterans Day.
All right.
November 9th, 10th, and 11th. We close on Veterans Day.
Okay, I'm going to ask you that again a number of times before we're done, because we want to get the word out and we want to get people signed up to come
Yes.
and see this, because it's just a moving experience. It's a one of a kind experience, actually. I got to say. Now, when we saw it, there were two soldiers who had been with Colin in his unit. Well, tell me about that experience.
So we have reached out to everyone that served with Colin, and we have reached out to the 3 Marines that were in the vehicle when Colin was killed, and other Marines that were in other vehicles right nearby when Colin was killed. So I believe it was 2014, I could be wrong, when we were fortunate enough to have all 3 Marines from that vehicle come to the ballet. And it was the first time they had been together again since that time. Another Marine that was in a vehicle right close by had tried to save Colin. His name is Stephen. And we met him at Colin's grave one day, many years ago, obviously.
Well, where is he buried?
In Arlington.
In Arlington, good.
Yes. So Mark and I were approaching the grave, and Stephen's there at the grave, and we learn afterwards that Stephen's like, oh, dear Lord, don't let it be his parents. I can't cope with this, you know, but that's how we met.
Yeah.
And we're very close friends now. And he ran up to the vehicle, you know, fire extinguisher, goes to the wrong side at first, comes around. And of course, you know, there was no way. There was absolutely no way. And the other Marines burned their hands. There was no way. Stephen and I did an interview together with the Washington Post in Virginia Beach, where Stephen lives. After that interview, he told me the next day that he had this vision of Colin saying, go away, man. I'm already gone and I'm okay. And don't you worry about it. And that he really felt so relieved. So that was like one example.
Yeah, right. Well, anybody who's served understands the bond that's formed, the tribe that develops. You know, I'm in touch with men and women that I served with 40 years ago. And very little time goes by without us communicating. And what I think is really special today is that it's so easy for veterans and unit members and people to stay in touch with the online platforms and the things like that. And it helps quite a bit. And I'm sure their coming to the ballet really was a real benefit for them. I just can't believe that it was anything else.
I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah, it just had to have been. And when is the production again? I'm going to ask you this a number of times. November
9th, 10th, and 11th.
Okay.
The 9th and 10th, it's evening performances at 7:30.
Okay.
The 11th is a matinee at 3 o'clock.
Okay, and where do people go to get the tickets?
They go to the Hilton Performing Arts Center website or the Manassas Ballet Theatre website. It'll take them to the same place.
Okay.
Or they can go to the Hilton in person, of course.
Right.
But also, they should know, you should know, that opening night,
Yes.
Manassas Ballet gifts the tickets to veterans and all service members currently serving and first responders.
Oh.
Free tickets.
Okay.
And all their friends and family, 20% off.
Okay. So the veteran enters at no cost?
Exactly.
Wow. That's an amazing gift, really.
Wow.
I know we're going to have quite a few veterans there. I can think of a good number that need to see this. And I'm really glad that you're doing it again. And I understand the toll that it takes on you. There's just no way it can't. And it's kind of you to share this with all of us because I think everybody who sees it is moved by it. And that's where the desire in them comes for you to do it again. Because when you see it, you want to tell people about it, and you want to say, you need to go see this. Well, I know you don't like the ballet. Even though you've never been to the ballet and you don't know what a ballet is, but you just automatically say, I don't like the ballet. You'll like this ballet. I guarantee it. And it's just, it's just going to be great. I can't wait. And it's November 9th, 10th, and 11th. And the first night, opening night, veterans and active duty and first responders get in free, and anyone with them gets 20% discount. It's a bargain at any price, really. Money should not really enter into the equation here. If you're going to go see this, you need to see it. And look, paying full price for a ticket is a good deal because it supports the Manassas Ballet. And I'm really hoping that after you got all that media attention, that your donations and everything went up around it. Yeah, well, that I don't understand, because when there's quality entertainment out there, people should be paying for it to support it. If you don't, it goes away. And I think that the idea, you guys have been around since 1997, is phenomenal. Whatever you do works. Would you call it a regional ballet company? Or?
I would.
Yeah. So are there any others in Northern Virginia?
We are the largest professional performing arts organization in Northern Virginia.
Wow.
There are some other smaller organizations.
Yeah.
We're the largest, yes.
And probably the oldest by default.
Yes.
I think, yeah. Well, that's great. And do you picture taking it on the road again?
If I'm asked.
All right. Well,
I don't say no.
Who needs to ask you? Who do we get to ask you then? Where do you want to go? Let's let people lobby to get you there. Where would you like to go? Hawaii, of course.
Israel. Israel would be wonderful.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, see, now that's something the embassy could support and fund. Wow.
France would be wonderful. We took Colin to Normandy right before he enlisted.
Wow.
So really the historical areas that have something to do with Colin's life and why he served.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're thinking much more grander than I was. I was thinking West Virginia or maybe North Carolina, but you're all the way overseas already. Okay. Well, that's fine. We can go to all these places. Look, if you're listening and in your town or area there is a venue, an artistic venue, tell them to call up the Manassas Ballet and say, hey, we want a fundraiser. We're going to raise enough money to bring you out here, because I just think everybody should see it. And it's great that we get to see it here. We get to see things here, and we get, because of our proximity to the Capitol and the Pentagon and the military, and what we do here is really, you can only do here at the Warrior Retreat because hospitals are nearby, a lot of veterans here. It's unfortunate that others can't get to see it. Have you thought about any kind of video product or something that you could put online?
Yes.
Of the production, so that it could be shared.
And we do that now.
Okay.
A lot was learned during the COVID pandemic.
Well, that's for sure. How did that affect you, by the way? I mean, with us, we were shut down for months till we could prove our cleaning protocols satisfied the commands. But and look, almost all of our volunteers evaporated because a lot of our volunteers were retired, which put them into a high-risk age group, which I don't blame them one bit for going away. They're slowly coming back to us, but that it was debilitating as an organization for us, and certainly nobody can come to see anything.
We reinvented.
Okay.
We shut down for 1 week. That was spring break. We called it spring break.
Okay.
And after 7 days, we were now on Facebook Live.
Okay.
And so that's how we taught classes. So everyone could take in their own homes.
Yep.
And the teachers taught from their own homes and all of that. So fast forward, all the different inventions during the pandemic.
And Zooms. And
Oh,
all that
my
good
goodness,
stuff.
yes. So the next step was the teacher coming into the studio and teaching from the studio, but still to the students at home.
Right.
And by that time, it was on Zoom and everything. Then we got everybody back to the studios by summer. And everyone was 6 to 10 feet apart.
Okay.
And of course, then there was all the mask wearing, all of that. But we just kept on and kept on. And we taped our ballets in the studio. We bought pipe and drape to put against the back wall to make it look more theatrical. And it's not the same as being at the Hilton, but the dancers got to dance and the audience got to see it in the comfort and safety of their own homes. By fall, we were back at the Hilton. We were the first ones to be back. We were not allowed any audience. So we videotaped the productions there at the Hilton. And again, people could watch it from the safety of their own home. By Nutcracker, we were back to allowing 200 people at the Hilton.
Spread out in seats.
10 feet apart.
Wow.
Horizontal, vertical, and diagonal.
Whoa. Like a big puzzle.
Exactly.
Wow.
So we have kept with Zooming.
Yeah.
And we have kept with what's called Vimeo.
Okay, yeah.
And now people can watch our shows if they live in Italy or Egypt or Russia, wherever.
And will you make all available?
Yes, it will be streamed.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, is it a one-time stream or will it be available for them to watch whenever?
They can purchase it and watch again and again if they would like, or they can rent it and watch it one time.
Okay, good. You're making money off of it. That's good. That's good. It's what keeps the ballet going. My only question about the whole COVID experience for you was, what type of toll did it take on the dancers to dance with a mask on?
It was very difficult.
I can't, because it's got to be, breathing's got to be so important to a dancer. I mean, it's just important to me walking around.
Right.
I can't imagine doing it. I used to have trouble talking to people with a mask on.
Exactly.
How did they deal with that?
We just did it.
Wow.
But we were very happy when we no longer had to.
Yes, I bet that was a big party. Yeah, that's the way to go. Okay, so the production is going to be November 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Correct.
And the opening night is veterans, active duty service members, and first responders. All are get in free. They're anybody accompanying them gets a 20% discount. And we'll do everything we can to fill the place up. I can't wait. I know I'll be there with my wife, and Diane will be there with her husband, and we'll get the whole gang together. And I just can't wait to see it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and thank you so much for coming out and telling us all about it. And we really look forward to seeing it. So to our listeners out there, look, this is something you got to see. If you're in the Northern Virginia area, D.C., even down as far as Richmond, it's worth a drive up. The Hilton Center, if you haven't been there, is beautiful. The production is just incredible. And it's not like you don't have to pay as though you're going to a Taylor Swift concert. It's reasonably priced. It really just look at your calendar, clear one of those dates off, and come out and see it. And get the tickets through either the Hilton Center or Manassas Ballet. I really like, hopefully when I go, that there's no open seats. I'm really looking forward to it.
I should mention one more thing.
Yeah.
The Veterans and the Arts Initiative of the Hilton.
Yeah.
Is
Dr. Nayati's group.
Helping to support
that's
this
awesome.
production.
Yeah, that is a great program over there. I see the doc all the time. We're part of a Veterans Collaborative, and they just do such a great job over there. And even through COVID, they did it all online and mailed out the ukuleles to people. And it didn't matter where you were. You just drummed along, and it really helped a lot of people and continues to.
Yeah.
It's a really great program. Well, thanks again for coming. We really appreciate it. For our listeners, we will have another episode next Monday morning at 5 a.m. Thanks.
The Welcome Home podcast is brought to you by Willing Warriors, a nonprofit organization serving active duty service members and veterans since 2012. To learn more, please visit our webpage at willingwarriors.org.